So let's go ahead and start filling in our map number 2. Now, I have some ideas here that I would like to show, so some other stuff. And again, when you're making your own game, by all means, take a lot of time, make it really nice, take as much time as you need to make it nice. Here, I'm just trying to show you, generally some tips you can, use to improve your mapping and just, and give you a good look at the tools that you can use here. So, it's more of a, introduction guide than it is, do it exactly like this and then stop spending time on it. No, you spend as much time as you can, afford to make your game look as nice as you want, because you can do way more stuff with, greater time and dedication and, care put into all your maps and everything than what I'm showing here. But, so this is another autotile option, and this one's for trees. So this is another way, in addition to what we saw on the B tab over here, where we have these repeating patterns. This is another option you have for making, forests or that sort of thing. So this bottom one here does these tree. Oops, and you can see, you can make it larger if you want, but I didn't actually mean to do that. Does these tree trunks here. And this again is going to be one of those things where, some people like it this way, some people don't. It's a personal preference sort of thing. And I'm just going to cover up a little bit of our pathway here. And then on the top you have the canopy of trees, and it has this nice dark interior to it. So if you don't really like the look of the multiple trees here, you just think like, oh well, it looks kind of weird, but you might prefer this other one here because it has kind of like an enclosed quality to it, to where you can have it go, kind of encapsulate the player as they're walking around and things like that. So so we can see here, if I just put it up on the top like that, then you've got kind of a nice border with a bunch of trees, and then you've got your path here that you can go through it. But it really adds a little bit more. I don't know what I'm trying to get at with that, but it adds a little bit more the sense that you are in like a deep forest, because you're enclosed and surrounded by all this tree and things like that. So all this foliage but some people don't really care because it is pretty blocky. So maybe you don't like that so much, or it's like, well, it's too square. Trees aren't square, that sort of thing. But that is another option that you can do. I think I'm going to do a little bit of a mixture, so I'll undo this bottom section here. And actually, another quick way you can undo that is, and I haven't shown this yet, but as you're scrolling down, you can see there's this tile right here, and this is just a fully transparent tile is all that is. So I'm going to grab the flood fill, and I want to basically undo all this bottom tree area here, tree canopy thing. So I'm going to just click with this transparent tile, and there we go. So it does that. So this is how, if you wanted to add transparency to your map, you could, either with the pencil or whatever. But I'm actually just going to fill this back up again, and I could have done it this way. I didn't remember that it actually filled it in with transparent tiles, but that's okay. So we're going to just do the grass again, and there it goes. But yeah, so the transparency, if you ever want that, and that'll be mostly when you want to use parallax backgrounds and things. You'll want to use the transparent tiles, and then it will show through into the background wherever you have the transparency. So I think I'm going to leave this here like that to show kind of like a transition into the area. I may actually, let's do a little bit of modifying this here. Let's just kind of, whoops, I didn't want to do that. I was on the flood fill tool. Change it to the pencil tool first. I I'm gonna do, I think, something like this maybe, and then yeah, I think that's probably good, just to kind of, maybe one more. Yeah, let's do one more, just to kind of section it off. So, and I'll show you, this will make a little bit more sense here in a minute, but I'm just gonna put maybe like a regular tree, maybe right here, and then we can do maybe one more higher. Let's see. Yeah, that looks pretty good. Okay, something like that. And you can even stack these up against here like this if you want, where it's kind of, you know, pushes this part into the background. Yeah, so the other thing I was going to do, and I'll do that, I think I'll show you, just another way you can use this repeating pattern one. Okay, so let's do a little bit of that, and then we'll select this top part, and that will finish off this, and then it kind of, you know, continues. And then we'll do these side ones so they don't look too crazy. And then what you can kind of do is just put in, you know, maybe an extra tree right here, just by itself. Maybe one over there. And it kind of spaces things out a little bit better. So here, we'll just kind of fill in the spots like we did before. And then we'll grab this last piece right here. So you can see, instead of having it be like a ton of just this exact repeating pattern, you get kind of these breaks in here a little bit where it adds a little bit more space and just some visual interest, to where even if you're using, you know, the repeating pattern trees where it's not just nothing but, I mean, you know, you could just fill up your whole map like this, but you can see that doesn't look that interesting. Like, there's really not, if you filled up the whole map with that, it's, you know, it's too clustered for a place that the player is actually going to be moving around in and stuff. So so let's actually do a little bit of this. Actually, let me go back one. Let's just start with the top half of this. And if you're by the edge of the maps, you can get away with this sort of thing too, to where it's just kind of the top edge. So just repeat this. And then there you can see, you know, there's some stuff going on, and you can see a little bit of the grass in between it. Oh, we gotta do this one too. Forgot about that. So just a little something to kind of break it up ever so slightly, compared to just having to just be nothing but the repeated pattern, and that will help with you know, with your immersion and just the variety of things, just making it look a little nicer. So now if I did this, see, I did it kind of out of order, you notice there. So let me go back and I'll show you again. So I started with the one underneath, and then I tried to put one behind it like I was talking about before, where you can do diagonally, but you kind of have to start with the one furthest back and then work forward with it. So if I did the opposite, where I started here and then I added this one, then you can see, then it layers it properly to where it doesn't look silly like a tree's growing out of another tree. So you kind of have to, you know, like I said, it takes some practice. You have to get a little bit used to that. So another thing you can do is just do the right half of a tree, and you can just do it like that, and then it just goes off to, you know, who knows where. But it's a nice little visual separation and distinction from some of these other ones where they're, you know, showing the whole tree all the time. You can maybe do that over here too. There's one more tree, trying to like block the player off a little bit so they don't think that they can go over here. It's that sort of thing. Then I think maybe down here we'll just add a oops, undo. So yeah, if you click inside, you can see it messes up the pattern. So you just want to like hold the mouse button down and then move it, and then it will keep repeating the pattern. So without making it look a little bit broken or whatever. So I'm just going to go like this, and then maybe up a little, something like that. That looks good. So just something to give the impression that there's, you know, Now this one's going to be a little bit weird, but just something to give the impression that there's some more trees around. You're getting to an area where, there's a lot more trees heading into this more dense forest area here. So, at least that's what I'm going for here. So, and we'll go ahead and click that. Now see, we've got a little bit of issue there. So let's see if we can actually manage this one or not. Okay, yeah. So let me just go back and show you again. Undo that. So we had to fill in this spot with the bottom part of the tree that's up at the top, and also the top part of the tree below that. Now, since we did the bottom part first, and then again we work from the back forward here, then it layers properly. If we had done it the other way around, where we put the top of the tree here, then it does what you can see there, and it doesn't look right because there's that weird triangle of grass, and it's like, where's the tree? There should be a tree behind it. Oh, let me just put that there, and then nope, now the tree's on top of it. So you kind of gotta get used to working in from the top of the map down as far as your layers for trees, and then it will work. So we can put the bottom part of that tree first, and then the top part of this tree second, and then it layers properly. So, and there we go. So now we have a much better indication. Even though it looks kind of weird, you might not want to use a combination of these trees and these trees back here, because it's like, wait, this looks way different, whatever. That's up to you, what you want to do. It's, but these are the two different ways that you can do, forests and things like that. There's also this one here. I haven't shown that yet, I don't think, but it's also another repeating pattern sort of thing. That you can use for these smaller kinds of trees. And if you prefer those to the big ones, or maybe you like it instead of this, you can do that as well.